Magbegor will jump it up as the Mystics doesn't go, and the loose ball picked up by Gabby Williams. Magbegor, Ogwumike, Wheeler, and Diggins with her.
I like this matchup with Slim and Diggins. Those long arms trying to be disruptive for Diggins.
Magbegor collecting to the corner. Ogwumike, pass fake. Three doesn't go. Williams, offensive rebound.
35-inch vertical for Williams.
Taken away, though, by Citron. On the cross, up the floor. Here's Sykes. Drop off to Austin, but it will stay with Washington.
I like the push. And that push ahead pass is what Sydney Johnson has told us several times, especially in practice and after practices. We want to control the pace. And you do that with your defense, but also putting pressure with those push ahead passes.
Citron attacking Williams. Layup doesn't go, gets her own, looking for an outlet. Goes back inside to Austin. Baseline, attacking Magbegor. Count the bucket and the foul.
Top of the list, Skylar Diggins is the one that needs to be contained in that way. And piercing the paint on the offensive side, you've already seen that with Shakira Austin finishing with contact in there.
And Ogwumike is going to be fouled. And getting to the paint. Someone burnt some popcorn in here, Christy. Yeah. I don't know if you can smell it.
That's the worst smell.
We've talked about getting to the paint all season long for this Washington team, and it's something they predicate their offense on because of the way it can open out their three-point shooters.
And Sydney Johnson told us as much prior to the game. He said, you know, it's not necessarily steal and score all the time, although they want that, right, with live ball stops, but it's getting quick into their quarter court actions. He said pace is controlled in that way as well, and he wants to see more of that from his team.
Ogwumike good on both free throws. Sutton attacking Wheeler off the window, trying to get her own. It's controlled by Magbegor.
Like Wheeler had a piece of shook Sutton's arm on that when she was trying to jump for the rebound.
Wheeler goes baseline, cut off, and they're going to say a travel there.
Taking it the other way. Erica Wheeler, what a story she has had. All-star MVP, undrafted out of Rutgers years ago.
Sutton works off Austin, gets double to the corner. Sykes, at three goes.
Oh, I like that a lot. Washington getting to the second side and finding Sykes waiting in the shot pocket to let it fly from the corner.
Wheeler works off of Ogwumike. Williams now uses her. Little hesitation into the mid-range jumper, short.
I like that gap discipline by Shakira Austin, disallowing full drive ability for Seattle to the cup.
Citron goes back to Iriafen. Williams takes it away into the hands now of Wheeler. Diggins running the floor with her. Magbegor attacking, stops on a dime. And the jumper's missed and collected by Washington.
Disrupted and contested shots by Washington early speaks to the defensive prowess Washington needs to continue to present.
10 on the shot clock. Citron working off Austin. Goes to her into the body of Magbegor. And it goes out of bounds. Possession will stay with Washington. Was there enough for a foul, or did that look like Magbegor was clean?
It kind of looked like a corner pocket triple, and that's what Washington needs, right? Get that ball reversal.
Sykes with the shot clock against her. That one's off the mark. Diggins the rebound. Williams on the cross, attacking. Met by Austin, finds Ogwumike. And Nneka Ogwumike will head back to the free throw line, where she's an 85% free throw shooter.
Yeah, it was that weak side cut. You saw Kiki Iriafen right there touching the collarbone saying, my fault, right? You cannot get stuck watching the basketball.
That's the first one. Jade Melvin and Steph Dolson check into the ball game here.
Steph Dolson coming off of an 8-point performance against LA and was solid in that one. Was really animated a lot of times, knocking in shots, having some fun with it with their teammates.
Quickly up the floor off the make from Ogumike. Seattle trails by 2. Dolson on the roll, doubled. Finds Melvin cutting, kick out. Sutton in the corner. Rebounded by Ogumike.
Sydney Johnson was clapping though because that's great action, right? That's the proper shot to take. You're not going to make every shot, but you want to make the right decisions for shots, and that was one.
Magbagor going baseline against Dolson, stops, stripped. Ogumike comes up with it and hits the mid-ranger.
Man, she is so tough on broken plays or plays straight to her that are linear in style. It doesn't matter. She's going to find a way to get it done.
Dolson off the slip, hits the mid-range back herself.
I love that for her. 3 of 4 from the floor in the last game, so coming in with some continuity and some confidence on the offensive end, shining through on that bucket.
Williams. 8 on the shot clock, poked away by Sutton, goes to double. Quick pass over to Diggins, now to the corner. Ogumike 3 as she hits it.
Well, it's great ball movement by Seattle. Skylar Diggins with the extra one to the corner.
Ogumike, a 34% three-point shooter. Seattle with their 1-point lead here. Citron going baseline against Magbagor in the finish.
What a smart decision by the rookie all-star Sonia Citron, right? A hard run sprint to the closeout for her resulted in her attacking that closeout with some force.
Diggins got behind the defense. Nice find from Ogumike.
And that's what she does so exceptionally well. And that's what Noelle Quinn, the head coach for Seattle, was speaking to us about prior to the game. She said, Skylar has the heartbeat of our team on both sides. She's one of one when it comes to her competitive spirit, and it starts with her attack on the offensive side.
Citron 3, that's off the mark. Diggins with it. Here she is pushing. Sidestep, contested by Melvin, gets her own rebound. Williams, back to action. Sykes and Austin back into the ball game along with Lucy Olson. Sykes taking it the whole way and lost the handle. It will stay with Washington though. Emily Engsler checking in, and some news from the Mystics PR earlier this week. The Mystics and 318 Foundation will join forces to host an academy in August, and that is Elena Beard's Academy.
Well, I love that. And that's what it's all about, right? So who much is given, much is expected, and you're expected to pour right back into what you love so much. And she's so passionate about the next generation of hoopers on and off the court, and inspiring them and encouraging them with events like that.
Here's Mitchell into the ball game. First shot off the mark there. Ogumike coming back up with it, does not go. She had the first 9 points for Seattle, Christy. What did Sydney Johnson tell us about her attacking early, how that affects them defensively?
Well, they're going to have to stay disciplined with it. That's why that was one of the keys, is Magbagor gets a piece of that one by Austin. But that is the gap discipline. That's why that was the first key. I think there's some resolution that needs to happen with the miscommunication with the officials on this one.
Yeah, Magbagor, I thought, touched it last, but they're saying it stays with Seattle. Or it will go to Seattle, excuse me. Not staying with Seattle.
That's why the defense is going to be at the top of the list. I mean, the Washington Mystics have done a terrific job this season of taking the paint away, but they have to continue with that against the Seattle Storm team.
Mitchell attacking, followed up by the defense there by Olson and Austin, and they're going to get a jump ball called. That was great on-ball defense by Lucy Olson.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been at
5 on the shot clock. Should Seattle retain possession here? And the Mystics come up with it off the jump. Sykes surveying as she attacks, going into Diggins. Diggins got a piece of that. Dominique Malunga into the ball game here for Seattle. Diggins quickly. A little out of control there. Austin now with it. Austin drops it off to Engsler. Left that short.
It looked like Austin probably should have shot that one. Engsler was in running stride.
Ogumike taking advantage of her size with just Melvin there defensively.
As she should have.
Sorry, Chrissy. Under 3 to play here.
See what Washington can organize here. Double drag action for Jade Melvin, trying to get some smoke.
To the corner, Olson That's off the mark. Austin with the offensive board. Kicks it. Sykes steps into it. Off the mark. Diggins the rebound.
Solid look, though. And great board work and activity by Shakira Austin.
13-10 lead here for Seattle. Williams, 10 on the shot clock.
Solid defense by Melbourne.
Goes into the mid-range jumper, doesn't go, but they're gonna get a foul and it's gonna go the other way. Malunga gonna get called for over the back. Erica Wheeler returning.
Well, that's why you box out, right? You can't watch the flight of the shot prior to maintaining your contact inside on the box outs.
Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen returning. So we talked about it in the open, the Malunga-Iriafen matchup. We'll get a chance to see it here.
And my hands are rubbing together because I cannot wait to see what that looks like, right? And both players can challenge one another in a lot of different ways. Let's see what that looks like for sure.
Citron, nice back cut. Beautiful find by Melbourne.
A solid dart of a pass to the recipient of a purposeful cut.
Angsler reading that well. By herself in transition, lays it up and in. Now Citron will have the assignment of Diggins. Diggins fires and connects.
Man, that was a moon ball by Diggins, a 39% striker from range, and Noelle Quinn said that she has been really hitting those triples with fluidity as of late.
Citron to the corner, Melbourne inside area fence, going into the body of Malunga. Got a piece of that, Malunga able to save it.
Yeah, she's just so long and lanky. We were saying that to one another. She's 6'6", but her arms are as long as the day is.
Diggins goes to her on the roll. And she just steps back into one.
Well, she got composed, got her feet underneath of her, coming off of her first career double-double after going 0 for 7 in the 2 previous games.
Youngest player in the W.
Yeah, 19 years old.
Citron kicks it. Melbourne 5 on the shot clock. Iriafen, baseline jumper. That rattles through.
Smart. I mean, she just got her shot blocked when she tried to attack the cup on the 6'6", long and lanky Malunga inside, so she took that shot from the dunker spot.
Ogumike playing through contact is going to head to the free throw line. Angsler frustrated with that one.
Man, let me tell you something. Nneka Ogumike is a monster when it comes to her attack game. Attacked that top leg, and she had that half step on her and took advantage.
I wanted to ask about that play. Malunga timed her move perfectly to have to force Kiki to decide on what she was going to do when she retreated out of the paint to give that lane to Nneka. How good is that mentally?
Yeah, you have to be smart, and you got to get out of the way, right? As a rookie, that's hard because you want to be aggressive, but not be in the way of everyone else who has been here for a minute. So very wise, but she's been a sponge in terms of her learning curve in the WNBA.
Melbourne inside, got low, kicks it. Angsler against the shot clock. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Gabby Williams returning, and Alicia Clark getting her first minutes here with 4.3 seconds to go in the quarter.
I had a chance to catch up with Alicia Clark prior to the game, and we had the best hug. I'm going to tell you what, there's not a better human than Alicia Clark. And this is where she started her WNBA career in Seattle. And now she's back in those comfy confines, and she has a give back to the youth in the hospital there in Seattle, and has continued with that even though she changed teams twice after that.
And bobbling that was Mitchell, so it'll leave 2.1 on the clock here for Washington. She's also a top-tier hugger.
She is, and she's so sweet, but for how sweet she is,
Second quarter underway here. Williams, now Mitchell with it. Malunga. 5 on the shot clock for Seattle. Wheeler checks it, got a piece of it with Citron.
Yeah, tough defense right there. Lucy Olsen stayed over top on the screens. They blew up every action Seattle wanted in that one.
And a foul is going to be called on Dominique Malunga.
She's still learning. I mean, she is a rookie, as we said, the youngest player in the league at 19 years old. And Shakira Austin right there just put her in the mixer at the elbow. And force the contact there on the rookie. Smart play by Austin.
Shook Sutton. Citron entry pass into Austin. 8 on the shot clock. Austin, patience, going against Malunga, able to work her way down there. Gets the foul, the bucket, and will try to add one more.
Oh boy, yeah. Kara Austin going to work.
Austin, 65% free throw shooter on this season, has gone up and down this season. Yeah. Gets the and one opportunity there and completes it. Was at 75 a couple of weeks ago, but has had some struggles.
Yeah, and that's something that she has improved mightily upon since last season.
An entry pass. He's out of bounds. It will stay or head to Washington. Wheeler frustrated with the last couple of possessions by her on the passing. She's frustrated, I'm saying.
She's definitely frustrated, but you can see it. She's having some self-talk right now, trying to get that corrected.
Hesitation from Citron got her into the paint. Misses. Engsler keeps it alive here for Washington. And Williams got a piece of that one. Clark now pushing up the floor on the bounce to Williams. Nice pass, nice finish.
And you can see why Alicia Clark has all the championship rings that she does in the WNBA. I mean, she just makes the right play. She's the glue player, the aggressive defender.
Citron trying to work off Engsler and gets called for a travel. And Lexi Brown checking in for the first time here for Seattle. And we've seen Noelle Quinn here go to her bench a little bit more. Yeah. Something she said to us in that last matchup she feels she could have done better at, especially late.
Yeah, just trying to manage that early so that they don't run out of steam down the stretch. In that fourth quarter, Washington had full control.
Magbagor turns into the paint, steps away from Austin and finishes.
Nothing much you can do with those long strides. Ezzy Magbagor, once she gets some momentum, headed to the rack, tough to stop that.
Austin still with it. Has the one-on-one with Magbagor. Spins, fakes, comes back middle, misses. Clark pushing again. Hand off to Wheeler.
A cross match right here with Clark and Shook Sutton down inside. Shook Sutton trying to use her leverage to get underneath of Clark.
And a foul called on Sutton. Kiki Iriafen is returning.
And I know when you're giving up a size advantage like Shook Sutton was there to Clark, it's best to not give her the body contact, because that's what she wants, right? Because she has the advantage. Get away and then use your speed as your advantage in that matchup instead.
Wheeler works off Magbagor, goes to
Sykes, speed matches. Now can you be crafty on the offensive side if you're Washington?
Citron, elbow jumper, that goes.
I like that, get that pin down on the weak side. Washington loves to run those kinds of sets. And Citron is great at making proper reads just like that.
Williams. Brown, quick entry into Magbagor. Williams lets it fly. Almost banks that in.
It's a good job right there by Dolson to give space to Magbagor on that lane line.
Sykes working with Iriafen. Goes to her on the slip. Into the body of Magbagor. Left that short, gets her own. Goes right back up with it. And it'll stay with Washington. And Ariana, you were in that last huddle for Washington.
That's right, Megan. Offense, defense, and defensively, you saw right there, ball screens is something that's big that Coach Johnson is talking about. Brittany Sykes got lucky when Gabby missed that open three because she got hit on the ball screen. And then offensively, they just have to work on their spacing, which isn't easy, Megan, because it takes someone either cutting hard or talking to get that good spacing on offense.
Wheeler attacking off the cross is going to get fouled. By Dolson, and she had an exception taken with Dolson on that one.
Don't mess with Eweezy. It was a hard foul. She grabbed her shoulder and displaced her for sure. Erica Wheeler, she was like, don't do that. And then Steph Dolson said, relax, it's all good. We're on to the next thing. It's a foul. Spicy down there.
Wheeler working with Magbagor on the pocket pass, Magdeburg jumper.
And that's something Seattle has found success with in this game, right? Little shallow cut right there underneath the lane at the nail.
Especially their bigs in that short roll action. And a whistle and a foul going to be called as Melbourne was trying to cut. Called on Wheeler.
To your point, you're talking about the short roll. That's when you don't roll all the way to the basket. You roll right into that slot, right into that mid-range, and pull up. Those shallow cuts are right there at the dotted line, underneath the nail at the foul line.
Citron. Sykes in the corner. Into the paint, got Wheeler in the air, comes back to the middle, and the finish.
Peekaboo. Ah. Slim said peekaboo. Oh, my. Ooh, 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 ooh.
And the shot clock did not start. One Brittany Sykes, the WNBA All-Star.
How about that? Tag it on every time.
Every time.
Slim.
Wheeler working off Magdeburg. Again to the pocket pass. Magdeburg keeps the roll going into the corner. Clark 3. That doesn't go. Dolson tracks it down. Lob inside. Area Fen has it stripped by Williams. Loose ball picked up by Citron. Dolson has it taken away by Brown.
Terrible sequence right there.
Williams going into the paint. Misses. Citron trying to push.
Sidney Johnson imploring the team, waving his hand ahead like.
And Shook Sutton getting into the paint. Sneakers. Sneaker night, Christy. Sneaker night.
I mean, I'd be donating the red bottom spot.
Every night's heel night for you, though.
That's right. Shook Sutton right here. So sweet. Getting this one to smooch off the window for 2 for the Mystics. Points in the first quarter, turns that one over. She's 14 points in 10 minutes of action on the floor. 4 of 6 shooting for Nneka Ogwumike, former MVP in the WNBA. Champ with LA in 2016.
Sykes into the paint, goes right at Magdeburg. Wheeler comes up with a loose ball. Cross court, Williams. Magdeburg. And a little collision there.
Man, Slim just folded up like a lawn chair. I was wondering, how is that on her? She was just trying to get out of the way, it seemed. And look at her face. Let's take a look and see what happened. Oh yeah, she was not in position. There's no way that could have been, she wasn't in position. She wasn't established fully.
No.
At the point of contact.
I feel like that could have just been, incidental contact. We move on.
Yeah.
Ogwumike below the foul line gets that to go. And she continues her hot hand up to 16 now.
Well, it feels like the shot chart for Seattle will be all right there under the foul line area because they have found a little soft spot in Washington's defense.
Found a soft spot in the Seattle defense as Jade Melvin striking from the corner.
And you'd love to see that. Jade Melvin always ready for the action inside. And those spray outs come right to her. She can knock down those threes and time it out properly.
8 on the shot clock. Wheeler lost her footing. Diving on the floor. Sutton trying to get a jump ball called. Dolson comes up with it. It's Sutton and Sykes as they go a little give and go. A 31-30 lead here for Seattle. A 9-2 run for Washington.
And they've done it with defense. It's one shot or no shots for Seattle in the last several possessions.
Sykes gets right to the paint, and the Mystics retake the lead.
Get right to it. Look at Slim's face, yeah. That's that game face.
Diggins. McBagor going baseline, had that taken away. Cross court to Dolson. Sutton. Cut off. Gets it back from Dolson. With space. Hits. And Noel Quinn would like a timeout here. A 10-0 run, Christy, and you talked about the defense. We'll take a look at the GDIT defensive play of the game.
Well together on a string, offensively and defensively.
You know what is interesting to me, Christy? Defensively, we know that Sugar's a great three-point shooter. Over her last 11 games, and I know Dolson, wily vet, trying to give her some space there.
Yeah.
She is shooting 53% from beyond the arc. Going under does not seem like a very good idea.
I don't understand it. 45% from three here at home for Shug Sutton. And she has been tremendous. And just a ready-made pro, okay? Georgia Amore, the rookie out of Kentucky. She is out for the season with an ACL injury. And that has not changed the way Shug Sutton has approached the opportunity to step in as PG1, wearing number 1 for the Mystics.
35-31 lead here for Washington coming out of that timeout by Seattle. 2:33 to play in this first half. Takeaway there by Sutton. Drops it off to Austin, recollects, and unfortunately steps out of bounds.
It is those turnovers right now that Washington has forced. I mean, they have been incredibly disruptive in the passing lanes. If they don't get a steal, they're getting a deflection to make that next same action in the offense something to think about for Seattle. They have been disciplined, and that's why that was one of the keys. That gap discipline is definitely evident. Now Washington has committed to this side of the court.
Forced 10 turnovers by Seattle, to your point, have capitalized for 10 points off of them. Citron attacking Williams, working with Austin, goes to her on the lob. Austin collecting against McBagor and could not get that to go.
And for the shots that Seattle doesn't block, they certainly change the mechanics on a lot down in the paint.
Mitchell. Over to Diggins, 8 on the shot clock for Seattle. Lob inside, McBagor collecting. Williams blocked by Citron. Citron in transition, pushing, kicks it, Sutton. Austin has it poked away. And it'll go to Seattle.
The entire staff for the Washington Mystics are they're up and complaining about that for sure, and they reversed the call. Let's take a look at that.
Into Citron, count the bucket, and the foul for the Rook.
Sonia Citron, the all-star rookie, going to work on the interior, taking the bump, and been amazing this season. Definitely in the discussion for Rookie of the Year in the WNBA because of her impeccable consistency and efficiency as a pro.
9 points in this ball game adds on to this Mystics run now at 13-0. 10 on the shot clock for Mitchell. Diggins with 4 seconds. Attacking. Layup was short. Area Fenn trying to get away from it. Diggins comes up with a deflection. Pass fake goes to McBagor. And Diggins might have been hit in the face, but McBagor still with the bucket.
And Diggins still managed to get that pass where it needed to go, though. Triple-double in the All-Star game in Indianapolis, her hometown, and it was very sweet to see her perform that way in front of her 2 babies.
Area Fenn, nice find from Sykes.
The connectivity right now for Washington, top tier. And that's why they have this 7-point lead. They've been being able to maximize their spacing and their two-player action. 12 assists on 17 made shots for the Mystics right now.
Third assist there for Sykes.
Look at the stance of Sonia Citron defensively.
Williams to Gumake as she beat the shot clock. And the Mystics will let the half ring out as they will take a 5-point lead after trailing.
Break down their defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it honestly starts with our defense and just getting stops. And when we're playing up and down and we get to play in transition, we're a way better team.
Speaking of your guys' defense, the all-star Nneka Agumake almost has 20 points in that first half. How do you get her under control?
I mean, I think it's a team effort. It's hard to stop her individually, but we just got to make her uncomfortable. She's getting to her spots, and she's an all-star for a reason, so it's a team effort.
Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Seattle's going to try to fight back into this ball game, starting with all-star Nneka Agumake, who has 18 points. How do you control her?
She got a couple things off of some loose balls early in the game, which really kind of got her in rhythm. We just have to do a better job in our defensive rotations and getting back to her and making more of her shots contested.
What are you happy with from that first half?
I'm happy with the way we stayed poised through their run. In the second quarter, we did a really good job of gaining our own run and making sure that we used our transition to fuel us. When we can play in open space and we can get our bigs early on rim runs, we can get a lot.
Good luck in the second, Coach.
Thank you.
Megan?
Barb, Ariana, thank you so much. And Christy, a really balanced effort here for Washington when you look at the point scoring amongst this team.
Well, that's because they're on a string. That's because they don't care who scores. They just want to win. And they are putting themselves in position for that. With the 12 assists on 17 made shots, that speaks to that and solidifies that notion. There's no selfishness out here for the Washington Mystics. Sonia Citron told our very own Ariana Prather that we're better in the open floor because they can push ahead and trust each other in those just chaotic moments, right? Steal and score, push ahead, get some easy offense in transition. And they only have 4 fast break points, but they've been able to push tempo and get early offense in the quarter court.
And Aaliyah Edwards, everyone, she is making her bobblehead debut on July 31st. This highly
of the season and the first game against Seattle to this moment. And now you put all that learning into action. And that's how you test yourself and your resolve and your character and your discipline. And this is where it's going to shine through, whether or not you can sustain that. And that's the next step for this young team.
Both coaches going with their starters here to begin the third quarter.
Brittany Sykes meeting Skylar Diggins underneath the screen because of her speed and her wherewithal and ability to get to the painted area. Slim did a good job of disallowing that and making her go wide outside the three-point line on that cut.
Kickball was called. So Seattle still with it. Williams working off of Gumake. Magbagor attacking. Left that short.
Nice stick arm contest there by Kiki Iriefin. Disallow an easy look from the inside.
Sutton, mid-range jumper goes.
She's just vicious with that mid-range bucket. Showed Sutton's pull-up game. And early recognition on Wheeler being out of position is how she got that shot to go up and in.
Diggins, jumper, doesn't go. Citron pulling down her 6th rebound of the ball game. Cross court taken away by Wheeler.
Those long lollipop passes are easy money for a steal. You gotta come meet them, number one, but you can't throw them up in the air like that.
To the corner, Agumake attacking Iriefin. Kiki Iriefin is called for the foul, so Nneka Agumake will head back to the free throw line in the first half, 5 of 5 from the charity stripe.
And Nneka, she is just so tough. She was Rookie of the Year in 2012 and then MVP in 2016. Stanford star.
A timeout called by Sydney Johnson. Do we have a green light special? Did he twirl the finger?
I call it the wind me up Chuck. Chuck Brown, wind me up Chuck. We're in DC. So.
And here we are.
Yeah, so a jump ball it is. No foul on Kiki Iriafen, so take that off the board. And you keep your challenge in your back pocket. Hello.
And you don't send Ogumike back to the free throw line. And she takes the three here. That's off the mark. Austin the rebound. 42-35 lead here for Washington. And a whistle and a foul.
Looked like Shakira also trying to set that screen on Skylar Diggins and got a piece of the hip. And displaced Sky. She was trying to recover on that action. But let's see if Washington can continue to stack possessions, especially on the defensive side. That's what swelled that lead for them prior to halftime in the second quarter.
Magbagor the three. Off the mark, Austin another rebound, doing a good job keeping Ogumike off the boards here.
Seattle just 2 of 11 from 3 right now. Washington, a tremendous defensive team for opponents shooting from range this year.
10 on the shot clock. Austin. Citron goes back to her. Met there by Magbagor. 2 seconds. Austin has to just put it up, and it goes in.
And the basketball was rolling down the front part of the forearm for Shakira Austin, and somehow it magnetized its way to her shot pocket for the deuce.
Diggins coming right back, too strong. Loose ball into the hands of Citron, now Sykes. Working on Iriafen. Back cut by Citron, lays it up and in.
Oh, what a crafty find. And Sonia Citron's off basketball movement, that's what young players need to watch. Everyone watches the shot all the time. How does she get to the shot? That's the magical part of Sonia Citron's game.
46-35 lead here for Washington. 6 on the shot clock for Wheeler. Trying to go behind her back, disrupted by Sykes, who deflects it out of bounds. It will stay with Seattle.
They have applied pressure defensively and stayed composed with poise on the offensive end to come up with the proper shots.
Dolson into the ball game, almost turns it over. Sutton back with it, 8 on the shot clock now.
Cross match.
Kick out, Melvin into the game. Off the mark from 3 there. Iriafen trying to run it down. And it'll go to Seattle as Lexi Brown and Tiffany Mitchell check into the ball game.
It's going to come down to these bench points. And right now, Washington with a 7-2 advantage. As we said at halftime, both teams going 9 deep into their rotation. That's going to be huge. You have to have that unified attack and offensive production.
And Kiki Iriafen going to be called for the foul. That'll be her 2nd of the ball game.
Kiki Iriafen, she was 4 of 7 in the last game, and you know, you would like to see her take 12 to 15 shots. If you're going to make 4 of 7, you know, maximize that. I'd like to see some more shots from her in the 3rd.
Okay, disrupted there by Iriafen. Sutton able to get away from the defense, attacking. Shug Sutton is going to head to the free throw line.
I like the force. Even though she didn't get the finish, I like the force by Shug Sutton. I love the energy that she continues to bring to the floor.
That foul called on Tiffany Mitchell, just her 1st of the ball game. And Sutton, as this season has gone on, Christy, just looks more and more comfortable and confident running the offense, as does Jade Melvin for this Mystics team.
No doubt. Shug Sutton, 7 points, 3 assists for the Mystics at that point guard spot, and got a piece of Diggins on that one, trying to contain her.
Has 11 in the ball game, does Sutton.
That's why I call her Mighty Mouse, man. I mean, she continues to bring like the lightning bolt mentality, right? And it doesn't mean you're going to be mistake-free or foul-free. But there should never be a moment on the floor where your effort is in question, and you can put her in that category of being true.
Diggins jumper off the mark. Melvin cross court. Brown read that, saw it coming. Here's Brown. Gets it back from Ogumike. Shovel pass to Mitchell. Pull-up jumper. Does not go. Citron pulling down rebound number 8.
Really nice glass work.
Area Fenn. Kicks it. Citron. Sutton. Tried to go inside. Loose ball. Sutton back with it. 4 seconds. Gets the floater.
I'm going to call that a lemonade play. Made some lemonade out of the lemons that you got on the first 3 passes there. They're trying to beat the shot clock. Sutton floats it home.
Brown. She snaps the Mystics' 10-0 run.
Lexi Brown so tough off the bench.
Citron streaking the floor. Melvin to Dolson on the slip cut with the finish.
And that's a layup line bucket right there by Steph Dolson, who just stayed activated off the ball to get that easy bucket in the paint yet again for Washington. 28 paint points right now for the Mystics.
Mitchell, 8 on the shot clock here. Magbagor to Diggins, 4 seconds. Diggins, jumper, doesn't go. Sutton the rebound here for Washington. Under 4 minutes to go. Sutton getting fancy, getting back into the paint. Contact there as it goes back to Seattle. Mitchell, and a blocking foul is going to be called. Jade Melvin and Sydney Johnson looking for the forearm.
Under contact with extension prior to the shot. Let's take a look and see. You can't do that.
And these will be the first free throws for Seattle since the first quarter, and those were all by Nneka Ogwumike as Mitchell misses the first. Splits the pair.
Well, they're a 77% free throw shooting team, but they, like you said, haven't been able to get to the line. And Washington is doing a great job on the glass after she missed the second.
Olsen works off Angsler's into the ball game, along with Sykes and Austin. 4 seconds. Kick. Nice find. Nice finish.
That's beautiful basketball by the Washington Mystics. The connectivity, as we said, is a thing of beauty. And sharing is caring like that.
Dominique Malunga into the ball game along with Erica Wheeler. Goes to her. Malunga collecting. And met by Angsler as they get a jump ball called.
Plugged up that gap with the gap discipline we said would be a mandatory asset to Washington on the defensive end.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Wheeler has to put it up. Austin pulling down the rebound. That's rebound number 9 for Austin.
Plus 10 advantage on the glass for the Mystics right now, 29-19.
Sykes goes to Austin, spins, comes back baseline, gets the finish.
That's that work. Down in the paint, and that's what we said it would be for this Mystics team. The way that they can just open up the floodgates. Start an avalanche of
ball game here for Washington, sitting at 17. Takeaway. Alicia Clark into the ball game for Seattle. 56-39 lead for Washington. Melvin attacking. Loops it up, doesn't go. Malunga with the rebound. Melvin trying to get back into the play. Clark.
Look at where everyone is for Washington. The bump off defense is right on point and on time. Everyone's in a stance, nobody's locked leg.
Lexi Brown off the mark.
And there's the glass again. I mean, they're just so well connected right now. Great synergy with their defense.
Angsler misses that one. Olsen with the offensive board. 10 on the shot clock. Austin attacking, gets the lay-in.
Well, the seas parted yet again for Shakira Austin. She was like, I know what time it is. Got her Gucci watch on, synchronized the time.
10 on the shot clock, 12 points in the ballgame for Shakira Austin. Here's Mitchell to Clark. And Engsler is going to be whistled for the foul here.
You can't sleep on Alicia Clark's offensive prowess. You know her to be a defensive threat for sure, but wow, I mean, collegiately, Tennessee State, she was leading the country with almost 28 points per game. And modified the player that she needed to be for the success of whatever team she was going to play for.
And look, you know what the Mystics have done defensively. 1 for 15 in the quarter. As Eric Wheeler makes me eat my own words.
Just a nibble though, because still 2 for 16 is not great for Seattle. It's great for Washington.
Olsen, mid-range floater goes.
The mid-range menace. Lucy Olsen, 3 seasons at Villanova. That was her wheelhouse, and then her last season at Iowa, same thing, averaged just under 17 points last year for the Hawkeyes. And here comes Lucy, 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 getting a piece of the paint, fading away from the outstretched arms of Malunga at 6'6". Gets that one to Plinko drop through the nets for the Mystics.
Shakira Austin has the last 6 here for Washington prior to that jumper by Lucy. 8 seconds. Olsen into the mid-range again. Clark the rebound. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Malunga with the seal on Olsen. Help came from Citron. And they're going to get a turnover.
Okay. Well, she rolled with it. You can lean with it and rock with it, but you can't roll with it. Let's take a look. Alicia Clark trying to lob it in, but give Sonia Citron credit for being right up the line on that weak side to crowd the space of Malunga right there to force a difficult catch.
6 seconds, and Melvin dragged her pivot foot on that one.
Too bad for Washington. They have had consecutive possessions on the offensive side where they have just been incredibly in sync with one another.
6.2 on the clock for Wheeler. Wheeler spinning, lets it fly, and hits.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And third will come to an end on the fingertips of Eric Wheeler, but it is still a 15-point lead.
Only shooting 44% in there. Imagine if they can shoot 60% to close the game out inside. High percentage shots. I'd love to see that for the Mystics.
That third quarter, it was a 20-10 Mystics advantage. I said Seattle advantage as we were going to break. And tonight, Chrissy, you talked about the schedule as we just saw the next 5 for Washington. This game here begins 18 games in 37 days for the Washington Mystics, including 3 back-to-backs with 1 tonight.
Man, that's what you want, right? You're a pro, and you got to just get yourself recovered, get your rest, and come out and do battle. That's what you want.
On the shot clock, Austin doesn't get the bounce on that one.
And that will be a challenge, of course, right? But that's how you measure your courage and your discipline, right? When you have those games in a row like that. Test your mettle.
Wheeler with Austin on her. In the mid-range, gets the bounce on that.
We've seen that action for Washington be an emergency switch. They just kind of want to shore up that gap and not switch unless they have to. And that was a tough cover for Austin there.
Malunga using the wingspan with the steal and the finish.
Ooh, you know, she could throw it down. I thought she was taking those long strides to get up there and dunk it.
Sydney Johnson not happy with the start here. He would like a timeout.
to his team, the leader, Brittany Sykes, grabbed hold of pretty much every member of her team and said, bring it in, let's get in close together, and said, get it together. All we have to do is just continue playing hard. Everything you do it hard. When you cut, do it with a purpose, and on defense, continue talking. It's great to have a leader like that on your team. Isn't that right, Christy?
Oh, no doubt.
Clark off the kick from Wheeler. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Austin.
Yeah, you want to have that kind of leadership. And Slim wants the responsibility of that and has embraced it all season long.
Austin has it deflected out of bounds, so it'll be Seattle basketball.
And you see Pokey Chapman up and clapping about the defense that Seattle has been able to apply the last couple of possessions, speeding Shakira Austin up. Down inside.
Clark, hand off to Mitchell. Baseline going into the body. Not sure what else Ensler could have done there. I mean, seemed like she was vertical.
It was tough timing, and the only thing that I can concur is that she wasn't in position, but Nneka Ogwumike just 4 points since she had that explosion of offense in the first quarter with those 14 points in 10 minutes. So Sky Diggins sitting next to her and has not been able to get things going on the offensive side with her 5 points, 2 of 9 shooting. So give credit where credit is due to Washington's defense that has dialed it up after that first quarter onslaught by Seattle.
Well, the other side of that too is Nneka Ogwumike had 18 at half. She has not scored in the second half as well too.
Yeah.
And a lane violation by Seattle, so it'll be Mystics basketball as they trail by 10. Austin working on a double-double. And the other aspect for Ogwumike, just 3 shots this half.
And that's what you have to do, apply pressure to the 2 players that are in their 2-player action, the passer to Nneka and to Nneka, and just allow anything easy.
And Sykes lost the handle. They say she thought it was deflected out of her hand, but it'll be Seattle basketball.
See if she can get it back. I mean, 4 times during her career, Brittany Sykes has been named to the all-defensive team, and twice she's led the WNBA in steals.
Wheeler getting downhill, misses that one. Malunga offensive board. And Dominique Malunga is fouled and will go to the free throw line. They called that on Sykes.
Yeah, Sykes was trying to collapse from behind Malunga, try to get a piece of that shot. But also got a piece of the body.
Malunga gets the free throw. She's a 67% free throw shooter in her young rookie career.
And I love the upside, man. Malunga, there's so many great rookies, including obviously the all-star rookies here in DC with Citron and Iriathan, but Malunga, just a bright, shining star in Seattle with so many great years ahead of her.
Seattle has cut this to a single-digit lead here for Washington. 60-52. 6 on the shot clock. Sykes puts it up. And that jumper goes out of bounds off the backboard.
You can just see the frustration on the face of Brittany Sykes there. Wants to get that one back and self-correct those mechanics and let it fly again. It was the defense that got Washington those huge surges of momentum. Easier offense because of it. Let's see if they can get that going again.
7-0 run, the last 2+ minutes for Seattle. Here's Clark in the corner, 5 on a shot clock. Attacking, flips that up. Doesn't go, Iriathan the rebound. Iriathan running the floor, trying to get position. Whoa. Jade from her seat.
It's a Harlem Globetrotter-esque situation where she kept her dribble once she hit the deck.
Iriathan with 8. 6 now with Melvin. Dolson lets it fly. Off the mark. Back tapped as Iriathan collects.
Plenty of time to reset.
Sykes, Melvin, Dolson, calibrated, attacks. Lost the handle, Malunga able to deflect it. Wheeler goes to her on the lob and the lay-in.
Oh, soft hands by the rookie Malunga in the open floor. In traffic, I mean, she had 3 bodies in her area, and those long limbs and the arms, and such soft hands on the catch, wow.
9-0 run here for Seattle in the quarter. Sykes, 10 on the shot clock. Sykes gets downhill, kicks it, area fend, too strong. .60-54 Mystics lead.
I mean, these are bench players for Seattle who have made the change for the Storm. You know, Nneka Ogwumike sitting on the bench, Skylar Diggins on the bench.
Wheeler jumper off the mark. See if they can buy Noelle Quinn time. Into the body, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Brittany Sykes.
To no avail.
Shug Sutton, Shakira Austin will check in, but Noelle Quinn wants to take a timeout and talk things over here as they've cut this down.
Game with 5 minutes to go. Soft blitz there by Dolson.
Wheeler gets that off the window.
Well, she had to put that all the way up to the penthouse because let me tell you something, Brittany Sykes was coming to get that one and try to send it back. Tough bucket yet again by Wheeler.
11-0 run right now for this Seattle bench squad with Wheeler the only starter on the floor. 6 on the shot clock. Sutton back into the ball game. Here's Sykes, lets it fly. Off the mark. 4-point lead for Washington. And Nneka Ogwumike getting set to check back in at the next opportunity, which brings Kiki Iriafen up off the Sydney Johnson bench.
I like that, right? This is the challenge. And a challenge VP and Nneka Ogwumike.
Sykes just picked up her 5th foul. So something to keep your eye on here for the next 4:26, especially if they elect to bring Skylar Diggins back into this ball game.
No doubt. But then you may want to put Melbourne on her instead of Sykes because of that.
Wheeler off the mark. Austin the rebound for Washington. Melbourne. Iriafen attacking Malunga. Too strong. They're going to say contact as Iriafen will go to the line.
Well, that's that matchup we wanted to circle at the beginning of the game, right? Exactly the reason. You see Kiki?
Another.
We're right there right now.
I know.
See it. See if Washington can close this one out. Oh, Shug Sutton with a tough one. The court is 94 feet, and she tagged the Ogwumike about 90 feet to go up the floor there. Take that one back. I know she wants that back.
That free throw from Iriafen, first points of the quarter for Washington, with just under 4 to play.
Defense coming under the screen, and Melbourne sticking right over the top with Brown because of her shooting prowess from 3.
Mitchell does not go. Iriafen blocking out McGregor. Sydney Johnson wanting them to push.
Oh, Kiki Iriafen runs the floor like a gazelle. Look at the rim run, and she's setting herself up nicely. She has the lob.
Inside help came as Mitchell was there to deflect. Sonia Citron getting set to check in.
She threw it too late to her.
Quick touch to Brown in the corner. 10 on the shot clock for Wheeler. Wheeler attacking. Wipes over, wiped out by Austin. So she will have the assignment of Diggins.
Notre Dame alums.
Austin was able to get a piece of that one, deflecting it enough. 61-56 Mystics lead, under 3 to play.
Got to really tap into the poise and composure here if you're Washington.
Citron. Inside to Iriafen. Walled up, gets it to go.
It's the body positioning for me. Kiki Iriafen, so tough. Maintaining her seal on the defender, getting that easy bucket in there.
Williams cut off. Loose ball picked up by Wheeler again. Wheeler attacking, lays it up, and will head to the free throw line.
She's just so vicious with it. Erica Wheeler, low to the ground. Attack point, insane. And once she gets downstairs into the paint, man, you can do
half, excuse me. And doesn't get the free throw to add one more. 63-58 lead for Washington. Sykes getting set to return. Iriafen attacking, cut off, and they're going to say travel. And Lexi Brown will return here for Seattle. Sykes for Washington. Diggins works off McBagor, goes to her. Sutton able to disrupt. Diggins comes back with it. That one doesn't go. Loose ball collected by Citron.
Another solid stop defensively for Washington Mystics. You see if Shook Sutton right here get things organized. You see how she's being communicative with her teammates. The weak side pin down.
Sykes getting to the paint, gets the lay-in. Noelle Quinn is going to use her reset timeout. So she'll be able to pick where she inbounds it from and make a sub if she so chooses.
Got the cup.
Coach Quinn elects to put Wheeler back into the ball game. Lumike trying to go at Iriafen, doesn't get the bounce. Sutton the rebound, lost her footing, lost the handle of the ball. Dolson getting after it. As it goes out of bounds, it will stay with Seattle.
Afford Seattle the possession on this one.
Wheeler gets the handoff. Mid-range jumper. Iriafen rebound.
See, all game long, Sydney Johnson has been pushing, saying, hey, push the ball. And that time he was pushing his hand to the floor like, the time is on our side. Time and score. Advantage Mystics here.
5 on the shot clock. Sykes attacking. Lady Liberty with the finish.
She had 10 of her 19 in the fourth quarter the last time these two teams met.
Noelle Quinn saying something this season she's done has gotten her game to 3-level scoring, not just attacking downhill. Wheeler, the three doesn't get the bounce. Citron with a big rebound, and that's a double-double for her.
Where did she fly in from with the greatest of ease with that two-handed rebound?
Ball deflected out of bounds by...
Stay solid if you're Washington. Look at the pressure being applied by Skylar Diggins.
And called for the foul.
That's a leader, and she has had a fantastic season for Seattle for sure.
Austin is fouled on the inbound.
That's all you have to say. Don't say anything. That's all you have to say. That's it. Simplified things. I'll say it twice.
An 11-point lead here for Washington. Wheeler. Three's left short. Sutton the rebound. Shot clock turned off. And the Mystics can dribble this out. And they will hand Seattle their 11th loss